Hi everyone, I'm Miss Lora from the Lake Villa District Library and welcome back to another family story time. Today we're going to read some books, sing some songs, and even have a family dance party break. But we're going to start with a song that I start all of my story times with. It's by Lori Berkner and it's called These Are My Glasses. So you're going to make two circles with your hands like this. Put them over your eyes. And then you're going to say, these are my glasses. This is my book. Can you make a book? Great. I put on my glasses and I open up the book and I read, and I look. I put on my glasses and I close up the book. Okay, do you have your glasses ready? Here we go. These are my glasses. This is my book. I put on my glasses and open up the book. Now I read, and I look. I put down my glasses and close up the book. Good job. Okay, are you ready for a story? I have 3 brand new books to share with you today. And we're going to start with this one. Okay, this one is called Brenda is a Sheep. Look at that. Does that look like a sheep? Doesn't look like a sheep to me. You know what it looks like? A wolf. Interesting. So Brenda is a Sheep. It's by Morag Hood, who wrote it and illustrated it. And I'm going to read this today with permission from Penguin Random House. Here we go. Look at this. Those look like sheep, right? These are sheep. This is also a sheep. This sheep is called Brenda. Brenda has a very nice woolly sweater. Brenda does all the things that sheep do. Doesn't look like Brenda likes doing those things because Brenda is a sheep. Bah! The sheep learn lots of new games from their friend Brenda, like catch, teeth sharpening, and tag. Brenda loves tag. But no matter how hard she tries, she can never catch anyone. They always get away. The sheep think Brenda is probably the best sheep they have ever met. She is so very tall. She has nice pointy teeth, and her wool is knitted and colorful. All the sheep want to be just like Brenda. But Brenda has other things in mind. Her book says 101 sheep recipes, because what do wolves like to eat? Yep, sheep. Sneaky. She is working hard on her special mint sauce recipe. The sheep have never had Brenda's special mint sauce, but she tells them it is very tasty. You just need to find the right thing to eat it with. Luckily, Brenda knows just the thing. She's getting ready for a feast. The sheep are very excited. Brenda tells the sheep to go to bed nice and early. She says there will be a surprise for them in the morning. A delicious surprise. Brenda has to wait for a long time for the sheep to go to sleep. But at last they begin to nod off, one by one. Brenda counts them on her claws. 1 yummy sheep. 2 yummy sheep. 3 yummy sheep. Look at that. Brenda fell asleep, not the sheep. Bah! By the time Brenda wakes up, the sheep have made a surprise of their own. There is grass stew, and grass pie, and grass burgers, and grass lasagna, and grass sandwiches, and grass sausages, and for dessert, grass cookies, with a delicious sauce to pour over it all. This is not the feast Brenda had planned. But when she sees everything her friends have done for her, Brenda can't help but join in the fun. Because after all, Brenda is a sheep. The end. Ooh, I like how that one ended. It could have ended a lot worse, so it was a good one. Brenda is a sheep. All right, should we do another? How about this one? This is called Away with Wild Things by Larissa Theule and illustrated by Sara Palacios. And I'm going to read this today with permission from Bloomsbury Children's Books. All right. This is almost like an I Spy. We have to find Poppy in all of the pictures. Will you help me? All right. Poppy Ann Fields likes bugs. They were her friends. So that's Poppy. She sat among the wildflowers, listening patiently to the cicada's newest symphony. She coaxed the shy roly-poly out of her shell. When the ants marched over her, Poppy let them, even though she was ticklish. She recognized the spider's mama's weaving for what it was, magnificent art. And she spent long afternoons talking with the ladybugs about shapes and colors and the heights of flowers. But when people came around, Poppy preferred to disappear into the background. At parties, she hid in stripes. Do you see her? Maybe zoom in a little bit. Let's see. There she is. And in big, bright florals, she became a landscape, a tree. She's like camouflage, very good at hiding. She was the pouring rain, a Baroque drape, a leopard in a menagerie. When Grandma Phyllis turned 100, Poppy stood watching the party. Guests milled about, coming together to hug and shake hands. Some people danced, children ran. They looked like colorful leaves falling into each other, then drifting apart. A small wind blew across the garden. On it rode a dragonfly. It landed on the cake. How his wings shimmered in the sun. Her whole heart glad, Poppy clapped her hands. Uncle Dan said, "Poppy Ann Fields, you wallflower, you. So that's where you've been hiding this time." His voice vibrated louder than 1,000 cicadas. Guests stopped milling about. Poppy froze. Eyes fell upon her. She was scared down to her toes. The dragonfly flew off the cake and landed on her hand. Someone gasped, "Would you look at that?" It flew to her like it knows her. "Poppy's got away with wild things," said Grandma Phyllis. Everyone came in for a closer look. Poppy's feet refused to move. She would have liked to run to the trees beyond the garden. She wished the people would all turn away and leave her alone. She couldn't look at them, so she looked at the dragonfly, soft and fragile in her hands. She knew the dragonfly had come here for her. The cicada's symphony swelled among the trees. The wind lifted her hair, cooled her face. She breathed. "The scientific name is Anisoperitera," said Poppy softly but clearly. "You wildflower, you," whispered Grandma Phyllis. The small wind blew still. Poppy knew she was not a wallflower. Leaves and wings fluttered to the beat of her heart. No, not a wallflower. A wildflower. And what's cool is in the back, there's Poppy's glossary of bug friends. And it lists a bunch of bugs and some facts about them and their scientific names. The end. Away with wild things. All right. I think it's time to get up and do some dancing. So we're gonna grab our families. So you gotta make some room wherever you are. And we're gonna do some dancing to a song called Higher and Higher. I'm gonna dance with a scarf. So if you have a scarf at home, a washcloth, a rag, you can dance with that with me. You could also use a shaker. So if you have something like bells that makes noise, you can dance with that. Or if you just want to use your body, that would be great too. You can dance however you want to in this song. Okay, I'm going to scoot the camera back and we're going to dance to Higher and Higher. See you in a second. All right, are you ready? I have 2 scarves with me and I'm ready to dance to Higher and Higher. Are you? Good. Let's do it. I love that song. All right, I'll see you. Hold on. I'll see you in a couple seconds and we'll read another story. Wasn't that fun? I really love that song. It gets stuck in my head, but it's a good song to get stuck in your head. You ready for our last story today? This one is called Hugsby. Look at that little monster, Hugsby. So this is written and illustrated by Dow Phumiruk. And I'm going to be reading this today with permission from Viking books. Here we go. Oh, look at that. It looks like each child has a monster because it's the Monster Adoption Special. I want to adopt a monster, don't you? And these look like super, super cute monsters. And there is our Hugsby. Well, let's find out about Hugsby, shall we? Oh, look, they're going home together, wearing their seatbelts. That was a good choice. The day Shelley brought Hugsby home, she knew he was not like any other pet monster. Hugsby couldn't do any fancy tricks. He didn't roll over or fetch. He didn't know how to whistle or blow bubbles. But Shelley didn't care. She loved him, and he loved her. Monstrously so. They played together, laughed together, and had sweet dreams with each other. When Shelley went to school, Hugsby waited all day long for her to come home. Sometimes he would draw pictures or bake cookies. Sometimes he'd practice blowing bubbles. But really, he couldn't wait to do what he loved best. Hug Shelley. One day, Shelley announced, "Tomorrow is Pet Monster Show and Tell Day. You can come with me to school, Hugsby. Hugsby jumped up and down in excitement. We just need to teach you a trick or something, Shelley said. Shelley threw a toy and asked Hugsby to fetch. Hugsby just sat and smiled. Shelley tried to teach Hugsby to juggle, but instead, he almost ate the beanbags. He couldn't figure out how to fold a paper airplane or do a handstand, and he still couldn't blow bubbles. But he's trying really hard. That counts, right? Finally, Shelley tried to teach Hugsby to dance, but he hugged her instead. She couldn't teach him anything. Oh, Hugsby, cried Shelley. Hugsby was tired, so Shelley tucked him in for a nap. I love you anyway, Hugsby, she whispered. The next morning, Hugsby woke up early. He held Shelley's hand and skipped all the way to school. Pet monster show and tell today. Welcome, monsters! After the school bell rang, Mrs. Peach had the children introduce their monsters, and they all sang a welcome monster song. Shelley thought the show and tell might be okay after all. Look at all those monsters. That looks like so much fun. Tommy went first. Snow Guy is really big and really strong. Hugsby isn't big or strong, thought Shelley. Celeste was next. She and her monster, Lottie, put on a magic show. Hugsby didn't know any magic tricks, thought Shelley. Greenie is a gymnast. He can do triple backflips, Henry said. Shelley gulped. Hugsby couldn't do a simple flip. He couldn't even do a somersault. There were so many kinds of monsters, and they all could do something special. Wow, look at all of those. Country music singing monster, karate monster, mime monster, cellist monster, soccer monster, invisible monster who bakes, hula hooping monster, ballerina monster, glow in the dark fuzzy monster. Ooh, that one might be my favorite. Tap dancing monster, yoga monster, superhero monster, tightrope walking monster, artist monster. Shelley was worried. What was Hugsby good at? Finally, it was Hugsby's turn. Shelley mumbled, my monster sits really still, and he's a good listener, and he gives great hugs when you really need them. Shelley hugged him back. That is a really good thing, isn't it? Then Shelley couldn't believe it. Everyone wanted hugs from Hugsby. Shelley didn't care if Hugsby was big or strong or could do triple flips. She didn't care if he could blow fancy bubbles. Hugsby gave the best hugs, and he gave them to everyone. He did blow bubbles. The end. I just want to hug this book. Hugsby. Okay. Thank you for listening to Storytime today. I hope you had fun listening to the stories and dancing with your family. We have time for one more song. It's our last song. It's called Skin-a-Marink. You need your elbows for this song. And we're going to hold them like this and wiggle our fingers up at the sky. You ready? Here we go. Skin-a-marink-a-dink-a-dink, skin-a-marink-a-doo. I love you. Skin-a-marink-a-dink-a-dink, skin-a-marink-a-doo. I love you. I love you in the morning and in the afternoon. I love you in the evening and underneath the moon. Oh, skin-a-marink-a-dink-a-dink, skin-a-marink-a-doo. I love you. Yay! Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed Storytime today. If you're interested in other things that we have going on here at the library, we have a lot of virtual programs. All that information is available on our website at www.lvdl.org. See you next week.